with your book, what can you do to make it easier for people to access the information? Nonfiction books in particular are great when you think about creating a study guide. Your book walks people through a process, teaches them something, helps them change the way they're doing what they work on. You might have worksheets, templates, additional resources. And if you create a study guide, you're making it the next step as perhaps you're turning your book into a course. Now, study guides are frequently associated with book clubs. And there are book clubs for nonfiction books. Asking questions. What are you focusing on in your book? Think about your target audience, what they need to learn, and if you've written a longer book, you could create a shorter book that is a workbook or a study guide. I'm in the process of turning a book into a workbook. One of my clients had created a longer book, and there were a lot of forms and processes in the bigger book. But if people wanted to apply the information from the larger book, the workbook is a way for them to write into the interior of the guide, and they now have a companion piece. So you've already done the bulk of the work with your larger book, and now you have an additional intellectual property. You could create a glossary of terms and explain them as part of your study guide. You might say, oh, here are the action items. You may have included action items in your book, but if you didn't, this would be a perfect opportunity to create action items based on the content of each chapter. And if you did create action items inside your book, pull those out and boom, you've got a study guide. I'll include more resources for you to look at book club questions, creating a study guide from your book, turning your book into a workbook. All of these are ways you can amplify your message and help your readers go deeper into the subject. This is Judy Baker, Book Marketing Mentor. I help authors get more bang for their book. And tomorrow, I'll be back with, how would you describe your book, the value of your book to a 5-year-old? You can find me at bookmarketingmentor.com and Facebook at bookmarketingmentor.com and Instagram at bookmarketingmentor.com. Hope these videos are of help to you, and I'd love to see how you create a study guide or a workbook from your nonfiction book. Join me at bookmarketingmentor.com, and I'll see you tomorrow.